Whenever I'm in a bind, it happens. We're not catching them out there, every hour of the day. I mean, you see some of the guys on TV. You could go 4 or 5 hours without a single bite. And whenever I'm in a scenario like that, there's no better way to attack those fish in a finesse presentation. Drop shotting, without a doubt. Over the last 8-10 years, drop shotting has taken the bass fishing world by storm. It originated in Japan, of course, and just to talk finesse, you hear a lot about the California anglers and how diverse they are. I'm really proud to be a California fisherman and being able to fish 6-pound tests comfortably. I met a lot of guys on tour, over the past 2 years that do not and will not ever fish 6-pound test line, and that's just a normal for us out here. I mean, we've got lakes like Shasta, Oroville, Bullard's Bar up north that harbor big spotted bass, and they won't bite a drop shot with 8 or 10-pound test. They really won't. 6-pound test is the norm whenever you're drop shotting. I don't care if you're in 3 or 4 feet or down to 30 and 40 feet. What that real thin 6-pound Seaguar Tatsu provides to your bait is it allows it to swim freely. If you go with your 8 and 10-pound test, like I was saying earlier, as that 8 and 10-pound test comes off your reel, it comes out twisted, okay? And when it comes out twisted like that, you don't have direct contact with that bait. And also, it applies more drag to the line. The higher diameter, the more drag, underwater drag you have, obviously. So again, that 6-pound diameter allows that bait to swim freely. Drop shot's real simple. It's kind of like a catfish rig, just a simple 9 to 10 inch leader. And with that 6-pound norm, you like a 1/4 ounce weight will work in most conditions. 3/16, 1/4 ounce. Whenever you're fishing down to 30, 40 feet, or there's wind, I will go to a 3/8 ounce. But drop shotting is real simple. You go to any piece of bass, just any piece of fishy cover, points, rock ledges, bridge piling, stuff like that, are all great for a drop shot, of course. This setup will get bites that the guy throwing a jig, the guy throwing a crankbait will not get. It's just a great finesse presentation. You see guys like Aaron Martins. I mean, he has made a living on tour with that rig right there. The rod I like to use is actually designed by Aaron Martins. It's a Megabass Orochi Double X, 6'11" rod. It says drop shot right on it, designed specifically for the drop shot. 2 days ago, I was out on Lake Michigan catching 30 to 40 smallmouth bass on that rod right there. So this exact same setup. I mean, nothing has changed. I just pulled it out of the boat right there, and basically we're out there fishing real clear water. That 6-pound line definitely helped me, but we were just kind of pitching to beds in 10 to 12 feet of water and absolutely cranking them up. Now, the biggest thing with drop shot fishing, let's say you're down there, if you're good with your graph, you see them on your graph, you drop down, you see the lure go down on your graph, and you get the bite, or whether you're looking at them on the graph or you're casting it out there, the biggest thing you should know with the drop shot is the way you set the hook. And if you would just hold that weight for me, would you please? Is the way you set the hook with the drop shot rig. And there are a lot of guys that make the mistake of, if you're shaking it just like this, highly sensitive rod again, first and foremost, you never want to move the weight. You want to keep the weight in one spot, and you only want the worm to move. But the proper way to set the hook on a drop shot fish is when you feel that bite, you know the fish is on there, you feel it on there, you don't want to set the hook like you would a jig. So I'm just going to loosen the drag up right here. But a lot of people make the mistake in that. Oh, nice. Do me a favor and hold on to that real tight, would you? Missed that one. Because I set the hook like most people do, like I said, most people make the mistake and they set the hook like a jig fish. Okay, there's a bite. Oh, okay, I feel it. Hold on tight. And they just do that. And then they're trying to catch up with it, and they're way up here like that. Of course, my drag is a little looser. It wouldn't do that in normal conditions, and they're up here and they're trying to fight the fish. That's not the way to do it. The best way to approach a drop shot bite, and this is it right here, you want it at about a 10 o'clock position, your rod tip, just like that. Okay, you feel the bite, there it is, okay, excellent. You want the reel to do all the work, okay? And instead of, actually the rod's doing the work, but you start with the reel. It's not an arm motion where you set the hook like a jig, okay? It all starts in the reel, and I call it a reel set. So you're fishing, rod's at about 10 o'clock, okay, there's my bite. What you want to do is reel as fast as you can. See that rod load up? Look how that rod loads up real nice, and it bends all the way down into here. What that allows your rod to do is that rod penetrates that light wire hook into the fish's mouth, and it keeps it tight. That's all you want right there. You get the bite, reel as fast as you can, your rod goes down, it loads up, and then that's when you pull it back, and you got that fish 100% of the time. You'll see guys, like I said, Aaron Martin's on TV. You'll see he will use the trolling motor even just to keep that rod bent. With a drop shot setup, you're using a real light hook, super needle point hook, and it does not require much force to get that hook in there. Once you have that fish pegged and it's coming to the boat. You know, if you're in open water, it's coming to the boat as long as you keep that rod bent, just like that. So again, you get the bite, reel set, there's the rod, it loads up, and just keep it loaded up the whole time. You loosen up the drag, you let them dig, and if you keep it loaded up to about right there the whole time, that's a caught fish every single time. So if you're fishing the drop shot, you get 30 bites a day, all 30 of them will come to the boat with that hook set right there. So that's the biggest thing you need to know about a drop shot. And as far as presentation goes, thanks. As far as presentation goes, again, you cast it out to any particular piece of cover, from 15, 25 feet, whatever depth you want. Again, do not move the weight. All you want to move is that worm like that. So you just shake the slack until you get that bite and you give them the reel set. I like a 2500 series reel. This one right here is a Shimano Stratic. I'm not sure the gear ratio on that, but a 2500 is your right size reel for a drop shot setup. Again, a 6'11" drop shot rod by Megabass. Orochi Double X, check them out in there, they have them. Just the perfect action. I know Aaron has spent a lot of time designing that rod right there, and it's awesome all the way around, without a doubt. Great warranty, 3-year warranty, unconditional. If anything happens, if I could snap this rod over my knee right now and go to Yusuke and say, hey, I need a new rod, and he'll give one to me. So great warranty up to 3 years, and definitely need to check those out for sure. So. But those are basically my three. I mean, those are my three favorite techniques on tour. Wherever I'm fishing fast, whenever I'm fishing on top, you know, slop, grass, whatever, throw the frog. Clear water presentation, the drop shot will get bit. You've all been through it before. You know, when the bite's tough, nothing's biting. I mean, the sun's out, it's slick calm, or you know, cold front pulls in. The drop shot is probably the best way to catch them. So definitely give that a try the next time you guys are out. So definitely a proven technique on tour for sure. So I see a question over here, and Dean, did you need something? Oh, okay. The pizza's ready, I guess. Okay. One question. Let me get one question here.
Does it matter if you nose hook it or you Texas rig your drop shot?
What's that?
It looks like your drop shot is a Texas rig. Do you care?
Yeah. That's there's two ways of drop shot, and I do you know, depends on where I'm at. Clear Lake in the Delta, where there's a lot of cover around, a Texas rig drop shot's the way to go. This right here is a rebarb style hook. It's a size 1/0 medium wire hook. And that's a Strike King Dream Shot worm.
Or a bill is 25 feet deep.
I would use a Gamakatsu size 1 split shot drop shot hook, and that's just an open hook. That's an open hook. Nose hook it, yes, absolutely. Either nose hooked or wacky rig. When you're throwing a robo worm or something like that, provides a lot of action. Wacky rig in that on that size 1 split shot drop shot hook is the way to go, without a doubt. So again, around cover Texas rigged with a rebarb hook, or open water, you want that size 1 drop shot hook. One more question, we'll go to.
Can you talk just a little bit about the action that you give the worm?
Yep, sure. Again, a drop shot, you don't want to work a drop shot like a jig. I see a lot of guys make the mistake of casting it out there and jigging it all the way back to the boat. With the weight moving, the weight moves in sync with the worm. It just doesn't look natural. You want to drop that drop shot in an area, a high percentage area that holds fish. You've caught fish in the past, in an area you caught fish in the past, or you graph fish. You know, you see them on the meter there. But as far as the way I work it, let me get it off the tip here. As far as the way I work it, again, can you hold that for me? I'm sorry, one more time, there we go. Kind of hold it up a little bit higher so we can see the worm there. Drop shot weight's on the bottom. You're in 15, 20 feet, like you said. Just a real slight shake with the rod tip. You'll be amazed. Just the wave action alone, even if you're standing on the bank, the surface waves on that line provides plenty of action for that worm. Again, it's a finesse approach. You don't want to jerk the heck out of it. You just kind of just let it sit there and just shake, let it stop. You know, shake. What the shaking does, it not only provides action to the worm, but it allows you to stay in contact with the worm, so you could pick up, you know, you could feel that bite, and again, that reel set after. So just real slight shakes, and then go ahead and let it go. Oh, there's a bite. And then and sometimes I'll sit there and I'll drag it. You know, again, if you're fishing down to 25 feet, the action of the waves alone provide movement to that worm. And a lot of times you'll just sit there with the rod out just like that, kind of drift with the wind, and they'll just take it and the rod lows up, and that's a caught fish. So I usually start out with a shake, just shaking it. So.
Do you ever use a braid on your reel?
Yeah. You know, that's a question I get asked a lot. I'm a straight fluorocarbon guy. You know, it works for some guys. I've got a rod and reel rigged up there right now in the boat with braid to fluorocarbon. I just like the consistency of the feel of straight fluorocarbon. When I'm going from fluorocarbon to braid to fluorocarbon, you know, there's no stretch in braid, so you're constantly changing your timing and the hook set. I like to keep it all the same, all straight fluorocarbon. That way you're not messing around with the knot. You know, if you're fishing riprap bank or something like that where it's real snaggy, not only will your weight get snagged up, you're losing your weight, but you know, you got your hook down there, your hook catches a rock, and you're sitting down there and you pull on it, and a lot of times that knot up here, after half a day of usage, your braided fluorocarbon knot will pop, and then you're 10 minutes in the bottom of your boat while, you know, Ike and Ellie and Van Dam are smacking them, catching them, and so I like a straight fluorocarbon.